Okay, what we're going to talk about today is a nice and easy one-pot roast chicken dinner. What we'll do is we'll not look at the chicken at the minute, but we'll start with the vegetables. In previous videos we've talked about potatoes, we talked about the jacket potato, we talked about the mashed potato, and the good all-rounder was the Maris Piper potato. And as we did with the mashed potatoes, we used jacket potatoes. So if you go into the supermarket and you buy a packet of 4 jacket potatoes, you've got a jacket potato, you've got your mashed potatoes, and now I'm going to show you how to do roast potatoes using that packet of jacket potatoes. Once again, like I said, it's the good all-rounder Maris Piper. So what we'll do is we'll concentrate on the potato and get them on first. Easy enough to do. Peeling a potato, off with the top, off with the bottom, and then just follow that potato all the way around and give it a good peel. When it comes to roast potatoes, what we need to make sure is that we have nice big chunky roast potatoes. So I've literally just peeled that potato, and all I'm going to do is cut it in half and place it into my pan. Once again, straight down. You can use a potato peel if you wish. I just find it a little bit easier using a knife and then just following it all the way down top to bottom. Once again, as this one's a little bit bigger, I'm going to just cut that into 4. So there we've got nice big chunky roast potatoes, and the trick is with the roast potatoes to get as much edge and edges on it as you can, because what we're going to do is we're going to parboil them. So in our pan we're just going to top them off with a bit of water, and we're going to get them on to boil. Okay, while we're waiting for the potatoes to boil, what we can get on and do next is the vegetables. For this I'm using carrots, parsnips, and later on I'll be adding a few just normal frozen peas. So we'll put them to one side and move on to the carrots and parsnips. For the parsnips, all you need to do is cut off the ends, discard that, and then using a peeler this time, just go all the way down and peel them parsnips. What you can do, if you do have a deep fat fryer, is so as there's no waste, the peelings you can just drop them into a real hot deep fat fryer, and then you've got parsnip crisps, which are very tasty to snack on a bit later on. As for the carrots, you don't really need to peel the carrots, just give them a good wash. If they do have any little black marks on there, then you can just cut them out and get rid of the black, but they don't really need a wash. All I would say with most root vegetables actually is to make sure that they're quite firm and they are not covered with any really black spots. If they're a bit soft and they've got black spots on them, then I get rid of them. They're not in their best condition. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop these up. We're not going to be really fancy about it. We're just going to chop them up into nice chunks, dead easy. And throw them into our roasting tray. Same again with the parsnips. Cut them in half. The thin bit at the end we can just cut in half like that, and then the thick bit at the bottom we can just quarter that and cut that in half. Same again with this one. Thin bit at the top, straight in half, and then the bottom bit into quarters. And then that's our vegetables done in the tray. Okay, What I've done is the potatoes have now boiled up, and what I've done is I've just parboiled them. I've put them into water, brought them up to the boil, let them boil for a couple of minutes, 5 minutes max, then drain them off, because what we don't want to do, we don't want to cook the potato all the way through, otherwise when they're roasted they'll just break up and we won't end up with any roast potatoes. So I've took them off the boil, I've drained all the water off. What I'm going to do now is place a lid on it and then just give them a good shake. And as you can see there, that's fluffed up the outside of the potatoes, and when that roasts, that's flavour right there. They'll go nice and crispy, nice and crunchy, and you'll have nice fluffy crunchy roast potatoes. So just tip them in with your carrots and your parsnips, and then literally all I'm going to do is pour over a little bit of vegetable oil, not too much, because this is a one pot roast, so the chicken's going on there with all the vegetables, so all them natural fats and juices from the chicken will go into your veg. So a little bit of pepper on there, a little bit of salt, get your hands in and get all that coated with that oil. Okay, get them potatoes round the edge, like that, and then we're ready for the chicken. Okay, so like I said before, we've got all our vegetables ready to go in there. We'll move on to the chicken. As you can see, this chicken from a local supermarket, £3.10p. There's enough there to feed a good 4 to 6 people easy, and if you're a bit like me, half a chicken per person, enough for 2. It's still quite cheap at £3.10 for a whole chicken. Open up that chicken, get that chicken out on your board, get rid of the packaging. So we've got our chicken out of the packaging, we've got some vegetable oil over it, we've put some pepper on it, give it a good sprinkling of salt, and then get your hands in and get that seasoning and that oil all over that chicken. Give it a good rub, and this is just flavour. Nice crispy chicken skin, and then straight on top of your roast vegetables and potatoes, and that's good to go in the oven. I've preheated the oven to 220 degrees centigrade. What I'll do is I'll place that in the oven for 15 minutes. Then after 15 minutes I'll turn the oven down to 180, 190, and I'll leave it in the oven for another good 45 minutes. As with any poultry, once you've finished working with poultry, make sure that you get rid of your chopping board, you give the area a good clean down, and you give your hands a good wash. So, ready to go. I'll put this in the oven now, and we'll come back in approximately an hour's time and see how we're getting on. And our one pot roast chicken dinner is done. So carefully lift out the chicken, sit that on the plate to rest nicely, and what we want for that to rest is so all the juices soak back up into that lovely meat for us. And then as you can see, our nice roast potatoes are nicely done. Then we've got our nice roasted carrots and parsnips. Spoon them out onto the plate. Like so. And then what you'll find is in the bottom of the pan, all them lovely juices in there. What we can do is that can be the basis of our gravy. Pour that all over our vegetables, and there we have it. Nice roast chicken, lovely roast potatoes, and nice roasted carrots and parsnips with a lovely nice bit of chicken, what we call in the trade chicken jus. which is a nice little chicken gravy to go with it all.